Hello and welcome to the YouTube channel of mprugs.com. Hope you and your family are doing well. In today's episode, I'm going to be showcasing 4 rare types of Nain rugs. This is also a follow-up to a video that I recently uploaded where I talked about the decline of the production of Persian rugs, and particularly when it comes to the high quality types of Persian rugs. So what I thought I'd do is I'm going to showcase 4 rare designs, and we're talking about the Nain rugs, a type of Persian rug that is extremely popular. As you can see here, I got 2 that have a unique design. These are classic colors. The workmanship, these are very fine pieces, and I'll talk about them a little bit later. But I'm also going to showcase you an actual silk foundation Nain rug. This is an extremely rare, it's what is known as a chahala, and I'm also going to be featuring a runner. But the main thing I wanted to show you, and this is in response to the many questions that I've been getting lately as a result of the videos where I talked about the rug production and the unfortunate decline in the Persian rug industry. The handmade rugs are being basically slowly, they are going away, kind of like with the Turkish rugs, where they're still being made, but on the low-end basis, and the high-end pieces are basically being replaced by machine-made rugs. And so we are now also seeing this unfortunate thing in Iran where you also have the machine-made rugs are now slowly moving, not just in what was, for example, when it comes to the Gom rugs, the silk rugs, the Gom rugs. They are the easiest ones to reproduce, and this is unfortunately what has wiped out basically 90% of the rug production in Gom. The pure silk rugs are now machine made. Only about 10% are handmade, and I've talked about it in some of my other videos where I talk about the differences between machine made and handmade and how you can tell the difference. Tips on basically so that you don't end up paying for something that were promised to you as a handmade when it turns out to be a machine made. But now we're also seeing how it's moving towards the other types of rug production areas, such as Tabriz. And we're also seeing it a little bit popping up, Nain, Isfahan, but for the most part, when it comes to the wool rugs, you can generally, it's a lot easier to identify the machine-made rugs versus the handmade rugs. They are not yet at a point like in the case of the silk rugs, and I'm just going to use an example here. This is a machine-made, this is a handmade, and you can tell the difference between the wool rug. Sorry. I just want to make sure I'm saying it correctly. It's a lot easier for me to show you the difference between a machine-made and a handmade when it's a wool rug than when it's silk rugs. The same thing is, for example, when people talk about Persian rugs versus Indian rugs. If you have felt and seen enough Persian rugs, you can tell pretty much instantaneously whether a rug is Indian made, Persian made, Chinese, Pakistani. And for those of you that are passionate about rugs, if you got a feel for it, you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, so in this video, what I thought I'd do is I'll introduce you to showcase 4 types of Nain rugs. Now, these are rugs that it used to be fairly simple to get. Nothing out of the ordinary about these rugs. They have some beautiful designs. Like, for example, we have this dark blue with a dark blue background. And we have this tiled pattern. This kind of reminds me of what some of the bathhouses in Iran. I remember my grandparents in the yard, um, in their home, and this was typical. You have the building, you have a yard, and then there is a wall, stone wall around it. And they used to have what they called, if I remember correctly, they called it a hose. It was like a place where they literally would wash their laundry and everything, but this is also a place where you bath in. So they would drain it and fill it up again and all that stuff. But inside of it, there was these beautiful designs. And this particular Nain rug, this is a gorgeous Shishla Nain rug. Um, I'm going to put the link in the description, but these are the types of rugs where you have the classic colors, you have the classic workmanship. These are very high-end Shishla pieces, both of these. But you'll see that the colors are such, even though it's a predominantly shades of blues, the design is such that it's a complement. A lot of my clients tell me that the burgundy reds and the blues and the greens, like in that piece right there, they tend to work very well with home decors, home designs. And these are, even though they are about 500 kpsi, these are very luxurious pieces. They are designed to go under furniture and to be walked on. And you typically have the silk foundation, and as you can see here, the same when you watch the video, it's just a really nice piece. And but these are the types of rugs that are basically being discontinued. And this is a perfect example. Here we have the Ahavan workshop. This is a workshop that we used to buy many rugs for literally decades. Like so many of the workshops, they don't exist anymore. Now what you have is you have a workshop where I believe it is the son, the last remaining member of the family. They own the designs and everything, and what they do is they are now contracting out the work. They basically pay the weavers to stay home, make individual rugs, and the way they do it is they supply the weavers with the wool, the silk, and all that stuff, and then they pay them according to when they agree. For example, okay, when you have, and I'm just going to use an example. Let's say you have 1 square meter done, or if you have half a square meter done, call us. We'll come over, we'll look at the rug, make sure that it's okay and everything, and then we'll pay you. So this is typically how it's done. So the weavers know they don't get paid until they have completed a certain amount of the rug, and the workshop doesn't have to basically have the overhead anymore. Well, this is a workshop that used to have 20, 30 weavers working for them full time. Now the workshop doesn't exist anymore. Some of the skilled weavers that are still around, they are now basically making individual rugs at home. But what that means is that in the old days, up until 10 years ago or so, we could get these rugs by the bales. Every time my family were in the wholesale business, in addition to running the website mprugs.com, which I do as a side, kind of like a hobby type thing, we used to go and buy literally 200-300 Nain rugs at any given time, about twice a year. That purchase, so of about 300-400 Nain rugs, that's how much we used to buy ourselves. That has now dwindled down to about 20 or 30. Literally, because of not just the political stuff and everything, but simply because of the decline in the rug production. So I thought I showcase, these are the types of rare rugs that unfortunately there's just not enough of them being made. And here we have a beautiful, just an amazing, it's almost a quasi um, Gonbad design, a dome-shaped design. What I loved about this piece right here, as you can see here also by the video, is it features almost a combination of architectural design. As you can see, it looks like there is that typical Middle Eastern, um, the the mosques. I'm losing my mind here as I'm speaking to you, and you can see this is not scripted. This is the, where they at the mosques they typically have the towers, and you oftentimes have someone who literally calls out the prayers when it's the time of day to do the prayer sessions and all that. But you can see the design of the rug, like I said, in the video and everything. And then you have throughout it, you also have this what almost looks like a Gonbad design, the dome pattern. So all around, this right here is just an absolute phenomenal piece. Again, these are the types of Nain rugs that my clients like. Also, the size, the 8 foot by 5 foot, which is 2.5 by 1.5 meter, perfect size for a lot of my clients. They like to put them in their offices and their entryways to their homes, or almost sometimes also as decor rugs. But I wanted to showcase these two rugs to you, and now I'm going to come back with two other. One of them is a particularly special piece. So let me take these off, and I'm going to come back to you with those other two. But just so you know, as I've often done, this channel is all about handmade Persian rugs. So if you like our channel, or if you like to learn more about the Persian rugs, feel free to subscribe. We typically come up with a new video every couple of weeks or so. Also, links to everything is in the description. But most importantly, I also make myself available to the viewers of our channel as well as to our clients at our website, mprugs.com. If you have any questions about a rug that you may own and you just want some simple answers, there is a link to a video below in which I explain to you the type of pictures I need, the file size, and from what angles and everything. And you can simply email them to me, and I'll take a look at the rug that you may have and answer any questions you may have. The shorter you keep it, the faster I can reply to you, but it's all right there. So with that out of the way, I'm going to come back to you here in just a minute with the other two rugs. So here are the other two pieces that I had promised you. And here we have a runner. This is an unusual size, and this is actually something that every once in a while, we used to get these all the time, made for us in Iran, in Nain. And what was unique about them is the size. This is basically 2 meters by roughly 60 centimeters. So it's about 6 feet by 2 feet. What is really unique about them is the size. These were almost, and we used to get these made for us as a twin sets for bedroom sets. Well, this is again a perfect example. Beautiful design and everything. And this is the type of runner that unfortunately nowadays very difficult for us to find. There are still a few weavers, but they're so few and far apart that it's almost impossible for us to find them. But again, this is something I thought I showcase. And then here we have an exceptional piece. And just so you know, the Nain Runner, link below in the description as well. It's a beautiful shishla quality. Now it comes to, this is a chahalla, a four-law, which for those of you that know about the Nain rugs, it means 4 knots per thread. And this is silk foundation, an extremely rare piece, But what is even more unique about them, because with the silk foundation choholla, they tend to be very, very flimsy. This is why, because of the way the rugs are made and everything, it is generally understood that the high-end Nain rugs are, for the most part, always cotton foundation. It is extremely rare that you will have them as a silk foundation. In fact, I believe at the time this video is taken, this is the only Nain rug in our gallery, and I welcome you to shop around. It's extremely rare to find silk foundation Nain rugs. When you combine the tight weave with the silk foundation, everything, it makes the rugs a little bit flimsy. That's the best way for me to put it. This is why on the Nain rugs you typically have a cotton foundation, but in this particular piece right here, when I first saw this piece, I thought it was a shishla quality. It had the meatiness, the thickness, even though it's a very fine piece. It had the feel of a shishla, and then I was taken back when I realized that, oh my God, this thing has a silk foundation. Completely not what you would expect to see. This is an extremely high-end Nain rug. We have several other Nain choholla pieces. They tend to be now all exclusively being made in this 5 foot by 8 foot size, because one, they're very expensive, and two, because of its size, this is pretty much what is generally considered to be the most universal size there is in Persian rugs. This is an 8 foot by 5 foot, or 2.5 by 1.5 meter. What is popular about these is whether it's in the Middle East, Europe, Americas, Australia, Canada, Far East, just about any type of place has a room for this size rug. So this is why most of the choholla pieces, for example, that we have also tend to have the classic designs. The best way for me to explain them to you is these are the very, very high end of Persian rugs. Nain choholla is right up there with the best of the best. Combine that with a silk foundation, and you end up with just an amazing piece, even though it's classic with the medallion and everything. If you go to our website, you will notice virtually all of the choholla pieces that I have, they're all in the same size, and they typically have a roundish medallion and everything. And so they know that because of supply and demand, this is one of the few types of Persian rugs where the very, very top of the high-end pieces, this is what you typically find. So I thought I'd introduce you to the 4 different types of rare Nain rugs. Hope you enjoyed the channel. Like I said, for those of you that are passionate about rugs, hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to be coming back to you with many more videos to come. As I said, if you enjoy our channel, feel free to hit the subscribe button and you will be notified when new videos come up. Also, if you have any questions about them, feel free to let us know. The links are below in the description. So until we see each other again, I wish you and your family the very best. Take care. Bye-bye.